Hitting hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Head to youtube.com, put Locked On Sports Atlanta into your search browser, hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment. I do read through all of the comments, so give us your thoughts about what we're talking about. Free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Odyssey. Leave us a 5-star review there, and then give me a follow on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. Okay, so let me preface this, okay? I'm not panicked. I'm not scared. I'm not overhyping or anything like that, because I know what the comments will be. Don't worry, they've got a plan. Okay, I got it. Okay, Chief, I'm 4 steps ahead of you. I got you, okay? But here's the thing. We talked with Mike Rothstein the other day on Monday after the Falcons game, stuff like that. And obviously, one of the negative things that happened was Drake London going down, knee issue, didn't play the rest of the game. And Arthur Smith made it very clear. It's nothing long-term in this, that, and the other. And I understand the idea that the most important thing is to have him healthy for week 1 against the Saints. I get that. And I understand that. And he's not going to practice this week, and he won't play against the Jets. Okay, even though he hasn't been ruled out, 99% chance he's not going to play against the Jets. And then, talking to Michael, talking to some other people, there's a definite chance that he won't play against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, maybe he'll be back for the co-practices, because to me, that's the important thing. But we'll talk about that in just a second, though. Okay? So here's the thing. I'm going to vent for just a second. Okay? I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that I'm already dealing with this in my first-round draft pick. This is a team and an organization who is so devoid of talent, okay? There's a reason why every publication puts them at the very bottom of the NFL as far as roster talent, because they don't have a lot. And when you invest in things like pass catchers at the top of the draft, when you have 9,000 other needs, quarterback, offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, when you have all of those needs and you start investing high caliber draft capital in pass catchers, and then that person isn't, because here's the reality. This is where I get frustrated, okay? Not every wide receiver comes into the league like the Randy Moss or Jamar Chase. Chase last year, 1,500 yards, a dozen touchdowns, right? That's not every wide receiver in the league that comes in. And there's a tough adjustment for a lot of wide receivers. Doesn't mean that a lot of these guys don't become good players down the road, but for that immediate impact. And when you have the number 8 draft pick and you're counting on him, you want him in your preseason. You want him in the mix. So again, let me state, I'm not saying that, oh God, London's never going to be here and he's going to fail and all this kind of stuff, okay? It's frustrating. It's frustrating to not have one of my guys that I need on the field, build that chemistry and rapport with my quarterbacks, see live game, action, right? Learn about what defenses are like in the NFL. Learn about how cornerbacks play in the league. Because again, it's easy to say, oh, well, he's the number 8 pick. He's just going to walk on the field and blow right through it. Well, how many top talent wide receivers have come in and struggled mightily in the NFL? But we've gotten so kind of spoiled over these last few years, haven't we? And I'll give you some examples of that here in just a minute. But first, let me talk about my folks over at betonline.net, your number 1 source for all of your betting needs and sports information. Look, here's the thing. NFL season is here. We're in preseason. You want to bet on preseason? Be a degenerate and do it. I don't care. NFL season is right around the corner. College football is here in less than 2 weeks, right? Baseball pennant races are full go. This is the most important series played in baseball this year, Mets and Braves. You got Scherzer. You got DeGrom. Think the Braves can do it? Put some ducats on them. They're a big underdog tonight. Put some ducats on them, okay? BetOnline.net is your best sports for all of your sports wagering information, live betting available, esports scores, more. In the palm of your hand, you put the app on there, and betonline.net is an easy way to be able to find out all the wagering information, trends, and action that you need. So head there today, betonline.net. It's where the game starts. But look, we've gotten spoiled over the last few years because of some of these high caliber wide receivers, right? Jamar Chase, even Jalen Waddle, and some of these guys that, Devontae Smith, guys that come in the league and, they become 1,000-yard wide receivers just right out of the gate. And part of that is the development. Part of that is it's a passing league now. When you draft guys like that, you're going to get the ball in their hands. But not everybody over the last handful of years comes in and just crushes the league. And historically, wide receiver and cornerback have been two positions that have been at times long curve adjustments to getting used to NFL life. Does it mean that London won't be a great player? Does it mean this? No, it doesn't mean any of those things. I'm speaking from my heart right in here. See that O for the NWO? Brother. That it's frustration, because this is a team, this particular franchise. I don't care what happens with the Lions or the Jaguars or this Jagoff or whatever. I don't care what happens with any of that stuff. I care about what happens here with the Atlanta Falcons. That's where I'm invested. And this team doesn't need setbacks out of its first round rookie wide receiver draft pick, number 8 draft pick overall. If it's my 3rd round linebacker and he misses a week, okay, because he may or may not be in the mix. But I'm counting on Drake London to be a focal point of our offense. You don't draft a guy at number 8 for him to be some ham and egger, right? We didn't draft a kicker at number 8. You drafted a position that, everybody tells me how, you don't understand, Chuckery. Our wide receivers aren't good. I get all that. I know our wide receivers aren't good. You know what also isn't good? Our offensive line isn't good. Our defensive line isn't good. Our outside pass rush isn't good. Our safeties haven't been real good with the Fabian Moreaus and Eric Harrises of the world and Daron Harmon. Jiminy Christmas. We got a lot of places on this football team that ain't real good that we have to figure out. So again, while I understand doesn't mean anything in the long term, as long as he's ready and healthy in week 1. But here's what I know. When week 1 hits, the Saints are a pretty good secondary. And we're going to face all these top 5 pass rushers and these good defense and stuff like that. I want to feel like my first round pick is ready to step on the field and get it done. And let's be honest, okay? I know we're being honest here. Kyle Pitts had an adjustment period last year, right? He did not get in the real flow of the offense early on. And he only ended up with 1 touchdown for the entire year. If I'm going to get to that next level and I'm going to win football games this year, I need Drake London to be a part of that. And part of that is being healthy and available when practicing in these co-practices, playing in the preseason. You heard Brian Edwards yesterday. Go listen to Brian Edwards' clip. He said, I want to play in the preseason. He says, last year we didn't play. A lot of us didn't play for the Vegas Raiders. And he felt like we were sluggish coming out of the gate. I'm not telling you preseason is the end-all be-all. I'm not telling you training camp's the end-all be-all. But there is something to rookies coming into the league and learning how to adjust, and especially at certain positions. Quarterback, cornerback, wide receiver, tight end, that there are a lot of nuances to learn. Because let me tell you what Drake London's not going to see. He ain't going to see Oregon State. He ain't going to see Washington State anymore. He's going to see the best of the best of the best of the best, right? Saints have a pretty good secondary. Promise you, nobody starting at Oregon State, could play in the Saints starting secondary. So it's just frustrating. I know it doesn't mean as a whole bunch that he's going to be out probably for the rest of this preseason, but god dang, you'd like to see your top pick be on the field and get some work and get some action in. All right, when we come back, just split, baby. We'll talk about that next. Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery, Locked on Sports Atlanta.